One of the first things to realize is that color, it's a universal language, and it's an unconscious language. And this is quite important because it doesn't even matter if you can't see color, and it doesn't really matter what your society that you live in, what correspondences that it gives to particular colors. The way that color actually works on the body is quite spooky and rather sneaky. And there have been some amazing experiments to prove this, that the color, whether you can see it or not, directly affects the endocrine system in the body. So that would primarily show up as mood changes and things that maybe you can't really explain. And certainly there was an experiment, I believe in Canada, where they had people walking through rooms that were totally of one color. So they started off in a red room and they went through the rainbow colors. And the thing about people noticed in the red room, they started to feel after a little while quite edgy, and they wanted to get moving, they wanted to move on. And so when you're bathed in a certain color, the body has got no escape from actually reacting to it. And fortunately, for those of you who work with energies at many other levels, it links directly into the chakra system, because that has a direct link into the endocrine glands of the body. And so we're basically going to use some of this to explain actually what goes on. Now, there is a simple color correspondence between the colors of the rainbow and the chakras. So there's a really good crossover. And one of the really handy things about this is if you learn one set of colors, or the meaning of one set of colors, it means that you automatically start to understand what each chakra does. Now, the diagram I've got showing you here is the rainbow system. And most people think this is the only system. It's not. This one has been around since the 60s. And so for some people, I suppose, yes, still pretty new. There are other systems that will dovetail into this. But the main thing for people getting to start to use color and chakras together is the fact that one set of correspondences will easily match another set of correspondences. So you haven't got to learn lots and lots of stuff. And I think that's a really good reason to use the rainbow system. So there is simple color correspondence between colors of the rainbow and the chakras. Meanings cross over, which is brilliant, because that means that you only need to learn or understand one set of correspondences, because as soon as you know one set, you automatically know the other. Now, the rainbow system has been used since the 1960s. I tend to use it most of the time because it's easy for students to remember. But it's not the only system, but it's the one that this talk is mostly going to be about because it's easy to remember. And basically, the chakras can be broken down in this way. The root chakra, red, sacral, orange. Now, as you see on my slide here, I've got white in brackets here. And that's because the color white belongs to the sacral chakra in the original Vedic color system. And because we're talking about flower essences, of course, we have a lot of flowers that are white that we've made essences of. So it's actually quite useful to actually bring the white in here as well. Solar plexus chakra, mostly yellow. Heart chakra, green. And I've also added here pink for much the same reason as the white, although the pink really is a relatively new alignment with the heart chakra because it actually brings in a slightly different level of the heart chakra. The thymus chakra, which is the one between the heart and the throat, some people use. It's a very useful one, particularly when dealing with immune system issues and to do with self-expression, which these days is quite important. Throat chakra is the light blue, the brow chakra is the dark blue, and the crown chakra is violet or occasionally multicolored. So for example, if you look at the red, the root chakras associated with legs and hips, the coccyx part of the back, it's to do with physical activity, energy levels, and basically keeps us in touch with physical reality. And red as a color is very much to do with energy, speed, danger, passion, it's even selfishness, even some of its negative traits, and it's very practical. So you can see how the two of these actually work together as a set of correspondences. So if you know the red ones, you'll know some of what the root chakra is doing. So go through the colors. When we reach the sacral chakra, the second chakra, it vibrates to the color orange. And also you'll see here that I've got white there because it vibrates the color white in the original Vedic system. And because we're dealing with flowers, it's very important, because we've got a lot of white flowers, to include those in the system. Now, the sacral chakra is linked into the large intestine, the bladder, the reproductive organs, and is very much to do with detox. And these days, the detox side of the color orange is really important. It helps to release stress and trauma, of which there's plenty around at the moment. But it also encourages practical creativity and to approach the natural world and relationships in a sensual way. Now, the solar plexus chakra, which is between the bottom of the ribs and the belly button, is actually a mass of little chakras. But it's sometimes easier for us to think of it as one. It resonates to the color yellow and shades of yellow. So going into gold through to yellow, through to a pale yellow, is all linked in the solar plexus chakra. If it gets a little bit greeny yellow, it still links there, but maybe not always in a positive way as far as the body physical is concerned. So the solar plexus chakra is probably one of the most complicated ones that we live with. And it's associated with all the digestive organs, and it's also associated with mental processes like memory, being able to discriminate from one thing to another, and basically how we order our lives. And the color yellow does exactly the same thing. So the biggest organ as far as the color yellow is concerned is actually the skin. And so it's probably one of the colors that we most need to support us all. And again, so the orange and the yellow these days are really, really important. The solar plexus chakra gets a bit wrecked when it comes to things like environmental pollution and living in a soup of electromagnetics. It tends to hit the solar plexus level. And so the solar plexus and the sacral chakra these days is very much under pressure. And so you can probably see as we're going down through the talk that orange flowers and yellow flowers are really important to us when it comes to also what essences should we take. Now, the heart chakra is the first chakra in the body that's very much has a mode of opening and closing. All the organs associated with the heart have a rhythm of movement, open and close. Now, if for some reason that rhythm gets stopped, the heart chakra starts to dysfunction. So as you can see, that will be linked to the heart, the lungs, the thymus gland, which is the little gland between the throat and the heart, is turquoisey green. And when the heart chakra relates to the world, it's one of the dangers that we have as healers is that sometimes we open that chakra a little bit too much and we accept everything rather than realizing that actually it's a rhythm of opening and closing. It's a rhythm of giving, but also not giving. And so the green, which most flower essences, no matter how you make them, and especially trees, they've all got a green resonance. I mean, there are some flowers out there that are also green, so they're quite handy. So the heart chakra is very much linked to us and the world, or us and other people. Whereas the pink aspect, that is also a way of linking into the heart chakra, the pink aspect is really how we relate to ourselves. So it's issues to do with my self-worth. What am I worth? Do I have any value? Do I trust myself? And you can see how this feeds into the green aspect of the heart chakra as well.